Cardinals weren't supposed to be this fantastic so soon. The St. Louis Cardinals have the youngest team in Major League Baseball. They're already competing with playoff caliber clubs, and many of their best players have not even hit their prime. I don't think it's whether the Cardinals have a future, it's whether this group is simply a fun young team or the foundation for the next great era of Cardinals baseball. When I think of the Cardinals, I think of one of the richest histories in all of baseball. Throughout the 2000s and early 2010s, competing for a World Series was something Cardinal fans could count on. But in recent years, things have felt different. St. Louis hasn't seen playoff baseball in 3 seasons, and the franchise hasn't won a single playoff series in the 2020s. For one of baseball's most successful organizations, that's a long time to wait. Yet while the spotlight was focused on the struggles, something else was happening. Cardinals were quietly assembling one of the youngest and most exciting cores in baseball. Now, for fans, that uncertainty has been replaced with optimism. Fans are hoping the Cardinals won't just be competitive with this group, they could be legitimate contenders for years to come. Just think a few years back, the Cardinals were built around aging stars who carried the franchise for a long time. This was a team that relied heavily on experience and established production. Veterans controlled the lineup, and the pitching staff had familiar names to count on. And expectations was St. Louis would find a way to stay competitive, because that's what the organization had always done. But as those core players moved past their peak, the win shrunk up. The offense was a little less consistent. The defense lost its sharpness, and overall the athleticism was not there. This group that once made the Cardinals so reliable started to show its age. By 2023, that slowdown turned into the worst season the Cardinals had seen in a long time. For a franchise used to competing deep into October, missing that level entirely felt like a clear breaking point, not just a dip. Eventually, the organization shifted. They began phasing out some of the older core. This is what led to the young players to take on real responsibility at the major league level, instead of just being in the minors or limited spots. Now, the Cardinals are in a full-fledged identity shift. They went from a team defined by experience and stability to one being shaped by youth, speed, and upside. Now, that transition is no longer just one we can think about. It's real. It's visible every night in this roster construction and the everyday starters, and in how this team is beginning to play. So about those young stars, the reason Cardinal fans are so excited isn't simply because this roster is young, it's because young players all over the diamond are beginning to turn potential into production. And it starts with Jordan Walker. For years, Walker has been viewed as the player most capable of becoming the face of the franchise. This season, he's finally started to look the part. At just 24 years old, he's already producing in the middle of the lineup, showing the power that made him such a highly regarded prospect and proving he could be a cornerstone piece moving forward. The young right-fielding Walker is top 10 in home runs. But Walker isn't carrying this offense alone. Designated hitter and catcher Ivan Herrera has developed into one of the toughest at-bats on the roster. The 26-year-old continues to show elite plate discipline and an impressive ability to get on base. While the power numbers haven't matched fully since the previous seasons, the offensive foundation is still incredibly strong. Herrera's ability to take walks and get on base is impressive. Behind him, Pedro Pages has established himself as the club's preferred catcher and game manager, but his bat isn't quite the same as Herrera's. And then there's J.J. Wetherholt. The 7th overall pick in the 2024 draft has looked remarkably comfortable in his first taste of Major League Baseball. J.J. Wetherholt already has 9 home runs. The rookie is already reaching base at an impressive rate, showing developing power and giving Cardinal fans another reason this youth movement is real. He feels like someone Cardinal fans are going to love for a long time. The rest of the infield tells a similar story. Mason Wynn remains one of the premier defensive shortstops in baseball, even if the offensive production hasn't matched last season's level. At third base, Nolan Gorman is still searching for more consistency at the plate, while Wetherholt's emergence has helped strengthen the middle of the infield. And the outfield is filled with upside. Nathan Church has taken a significant step forward offensively, improving dramatically from a season ago. Victor Scott II continues to provide athleticism and defensive value in center field. Combined with Walker's emergence in right, the Cardinals suddenly have young talent spread throughout the entire outfield. That's what makes this roster so intriguing. This isn't a team relying on one future star. It's a team where young contributors are beginning to appear everywhere you look. And that trend extends to the pitching staff as well. Michael McGreevy has been one of the biggest surprises on the roster. The 25-year-old has improved across the board, lowering his ERA and WHIP while increasing his strikeout rate. Andre Palante has also taken positive steps forward and continues to solidify his place in the rotation. Not every young arm has broken out, however. Matthew Liberatore earned the opening day start, but his season has been much more inconsistent. Walks and home runs have both increased, and his overall performance hasn't matched expectations. Similar issues have appeared throughout the staff, but of course, development is rarely a straight line. Still, there are encouraging signs throughout the bullpen. Gordon Graceffo continues to develop into a dependable relief option, while Riley O'Brien has become a trusted late-inning arm capable of closing games. And that's what stands out most about this Cardinals team. The development isn't concentrated in one player, it's spread throughout the roster. And that's exactly why so many people around baseball are beginning to pay attention. As exciting as this roster has been, there's still one major reason to be cautious. This young core hasn't fully translated into an elite offense yet. There are plenty of individual success stories. Jordan Walker looks like a future superstar. Ivan Herrera continues to get on base at an impressive rate. J.J. Wetherholt has made an immediate impact. But when you zoom out and look at the entire lineup, the results aren't quite as dominant as you might expect. The Cardinals still rank outside the top 20 in runs scored and sit near the bottom of the league in total hits. Development isn't always linear. Young players can look incredible for stretches. They can flash star potential, but turning talent into consistent, team-wide production is a big challenge. The good news is the pitching staff has helped keep this team competitive. Michael McGreevy has emerged as a reliable starter. Andre Palante has been solid, and the bullpen has done a respectable job protecting leads. But if the Cardinals want to become a true contender, they'll eventually need more than potential, especially in pitching. They'll need this young lineup to turn flashes of brilliance into one of the league's most productive offenses, because that's really what matters come October. Overall, you have to feel very optimistic when looking at this Cardinals roster. They have a young superstar in the making in Jordan Walker. J.J. Wetherholt is already making a name for himself at such a young age. And Herrera is establishing himself as a key piece of the lineup. For the Cardinals, there is youth everywhere you look at the major league level, and that is rare. That may be holding them back as well. The lack of experience on the pitching staff has definitely been noticed this year. That's one spot this team could add if they want to make a run this season. However, there are rumors that this team will do the opposite and trade away JoJo Romero or other relief options this season. I also think if Herrera can become the most reliable option at catcher, this team has the opportunity to add a massive bat in the designated hitting role. They have young pitching options, sure, but they lack that same youth movement at pitching as they have behind the plate. But it's hard to say this club's rebuilding. They're ahead of schedule, so that means don't sell the farm right away. A World Series this year is definitely a long shot, but they have appeared to find their next great core. Do you think the Cardinals will be successful? Do you think this is the next great car of Cardinal players? Do you like the Cardinals? Do you live in St. Louis and do you like going to Cardinal games? Are you excited by Jordan Walker? I appreciate you stopping by. Baseball, coming at ya!